This version of Cisco Quad introduces the role of compliance officer, who can deal with content that has been reported as inappropriate by other users. In this video, I'll describe the role of the compliance officer, I'll show how content gets reported, and I'll give a complete example from beginning to end. A compliance officer must be assigned the role by the system administrator. The system administrator can assign any number of compliance officers. Before I tell you about the compliance officer role, I'll show you how someone can report content. This is what triggers the compliance officer to take action. One content type that a Quad user can report is a post. Here is a post that a user decides to report. In this case, the user chooses to report the post as inappropriate content and then enters a reason why. When the user clicks send, an email is sent to all compliance officers telling them about this reported content. This is what the letter looks like. I'll explain in a minute the different options the compliance officer can then take. As a compliance officer, you will first need to add an application called Reported Content to your MyView page. This application is available only for users who have already been assigned the role of compliance officer. From your MyView page, click Add Application, find the application called Reported Content, and then drag it and drop it into the desired location on your MyView page. You can now see the application has loaded. The application shows information about all content that has been reported, including cases that have already been resolved. You can use the drop-down list to show all types of content reported by users, or just to show one of the categories. You can use the tabs along the top to filter the cases. I'm going to look at the new cases. The columns show the auto-generated case number and content. The number in parentheses tells you how many times this content has been reported. Also, you see the user who reported the content, when the content was last modified, the name of the compliance officer who has taken the case, and the up-to-date status of the case. The word system will appear in the compliance officer column until a particular compliance officer takes the first action on the case. Now I want to select one of the cases that has not yet been assigned, so I look for the new cases. When I click on one, I see a lot of information, including the type of content, the post in this case, who reported the content, and the content's author. I have two options. I can hide the content or resolve the case right away. If I click Resolve, my choices are to hide the content permanently or to allow it to remain as is. I'm going to cancel out of this option and click Hide Content. The author is notified by email that his post has been hidden. Only compliance officers and authors can view hidden content. By clicking Hide Content at this time, the content is hidden for now, but I can still take further action. I can edit the content myself, I can still decide to resolve it right now, or I can request that the author change the content. I'm going to choose the Request Change option. I can type in some descriptive text and click Send. Now I go back to the Reported Content view and I click on the Change Requested tab. I can see that the case that I just took action on is now assigned to me and has the status of Change Requested. Cisco Quad automatically generates a post where both compliance officers and authors can track a case. I can go to my Library tab, click Posts, and here's the post that has just been created. I can open the post and see more information about the case. Cisco Quad has now sent two letters to the author. The first letter tells the author that his content has been hidden. And the second letter notifies the author that the compliance officer requests that he change his content. In addition to receiving email, the author is notified in his watch list about the hidden content. The author now has the option of changing his content, either by following a link provided in the email or by following a link in the watch list. Here he chooses the email link. He clicks the down arrow, presses Edit, and then makes a change to his post. He then presses the Notify Compliance Officer button. He can enter some descriptive text if he wants, and then he presses Notify. If I go to the reported content view, I can see that the status now reads Waiting Approval. I can now click on the case, look at the changes, then decide to resolve it. I select Edited from the drop-down list and click Resolve. I can see the case is now resolved in the reported content view. The content will be unhidden, and the author will receive a final email telling him the case has been resolved and that his content is unhidden. You have now seen how content gets reported, what a compliance officer does, and the steps that take place between the compliance officer and the author to bring a case to resolution. Other content types besides posts, such as microblogs and message board threads, can be reported, and those cases can be handled in a similar fashion to what you have seen in this video.